to the Spiritual Earth Angel 2323 channel. This is Gracie. So just wanted to come and do some quick short videos about continue on the healing and the spiritual journey and spiritual awakeness. And today we're going to be talking about getting more deeper and deeper into the depths of meaning of the soul, mind, and body. So today I want to go about, it's called Star Lionsgate 888. If you can see that the lion has the crown that is white, ray and light, wisdom, empowerment, spirituality, courage, boldness. And if you go down to the loins, you see the third eye, the chakra is open. You can see that the heart chakra is also open to receive, love and abundance. After you've been through a long suffering and turmoil season and stagnation, that's when you experience the more inner freedom, the boldness, the confidence, where you was once vulnerability, you now discovering your deep truth, your deep meaning, your deep spiritual path, the calling that you are called to do. You emerge from all of the pain, the suffering, the hating, the strife, the envy, the jealousy. You fought through all of that. And so now it's time for the blessings, the prosperity, the joy, the peace, and the love, and the healing, to be coming into your life. It opens the door to abundance. Doors will begin to open, opportunities begin to open for you. Because now you're in a conscious of light in a higher realm. You're transforming the negativity into positivity experiences and lesson learned. With this one, this is a card that is connected to the goddess of the planet Venus. It's like a sacred card that which ensures prosperity and good fortune for years ahead. So that means that's unlimited blessing and great power is coming to you for years ahead because you have passed the test. You went through your spiritual, your healing, your journey, your sacred tools. You took everything that God, the divine one, ancestral spirit has given you, the chosen ones, to do, and now you have passed the test, and now it's time to reap the benefits, reap the rewards for your long-term suffering. And it give you a little history on this. The totem sacred to Ashtar it took place on July the 26th in Egypt. It marked the beginning of the Egyptian New Year. And so the 8th day of the 8th month is considered especially potent. And when combined with the 8-pointed star of Ashtar, the numerical frequency of the spiritual portal or doorway that opens on an 8th August becomes 888. So the 888 number, what you see there, is the frequency that stimulates your soul into a unique way, a deeper intimacy between the spiritual realm and the earth plane, where you outpouring a lot of light, positive blessings on humanity, peace, joy, compassion, out into the world. It's also, where, like I said, it's like a portal that you have a doorway that it open to the spiritual and also to the natural realm. And you could be seeing some numbers of 888. Um, it's a message of breakthrough and healing, to the point that it lightens your life. The end of a deeply challenging cycle in your life. And that has now come to an end, come to the cycle of it has come. The residue of it has been released and has been moved. And what seems lost, the light shall return. And beautiful blessings are destined to unfold into your life when you have this card. And that's what it's talking about. Enlighten the heart, truly love for humanity, bringing forth the compassion, the mercy, the grace, the protection needed, to being many gain spiritual benefit, freedom, truth, and peace. It's all on the horizon, that wisdom, teaching how to self-love, how to set boundaries, how to manifest, what you want back into your life, in a positive way. As you go through your healing process, in which you have completed your healing process all at the same time, when you get into a higher frequency, a higher level, a higher calling, in your spiritual path, in your destination. The next one is the karma of Katuhula. And I'll put that in. And what it's saying, it says deep healing routes to the soul. Permission to do what you feel in your heart to do. Calming the restless mind. And when it says calming the restless mind, that means that you get into this quiet state of peace where nothing is moving you. Nothing that anybody say will move you to respond quickly or to have some type of quick reaction to something or someone. You won't be quickly to get into one situation and then you quickly get into another. So you be more at peace and calm in different, situations. You'll be more decisive. You'll think more and pray more, meditate more on what you want in your life, what you want to come into your life, and you're not so quickly to jump the fence and say, oh, okay, the grass is green over here, so let me go there. You weigh out your options. Get some clarity and understanding before you make a sound decision on anything, in your life, in concerning your spiritual journey, your spiritual path. Have a chance to settle and evolve. Allow mistakes. You're not perfect, so you always gonna have flaws and mistakes. You learn it and you keep going. Don't judge yourself. Don't beat yourself up. This is part of the spiritual journey. Your spiritual healing, your spiritual awakening. Your mission, your calling. So God understands that, and the guidance of your angels, your spiritual guidance, and your ancestors are all here to help guide you along that way. Don't be stagnated in because you have fallen short in one area of your life. You pick yourself back up, don't quit, and you keep moving. Staying on the course, even though sometimes it's going to get difficult along the way. Don't allow nobody to stir you in the wrong direction. Don't allow them to say because there might be like an incident that is in a negative way that has impacted your life, doesn't mean that you are not on your right spiritual path, your spiritual journey. Don't allow someone to say that, it's just a coincidence that this happened. No, because not everything is a coincidence, and it doesn't mean that you have to take another path, another direction. It just means that you need to just reevaluate, get refocused on what happened during that course of time while you're on your path, what you encounter, and what needs to be learned, and what needs to take what you need to benefit you, and then you move on. But still continue to stay on your purpose, because if you allow someone to take you off of your purpose, then you will miss it. You will miss the purpose, you will miss the mission, the calling, and you will miss the blessings along the way. It's all about rediscovering your path. And what I like about this card, you see the rising of the phoenix. That's what it reminds me of, the rising of the phoenix, because it's like it's more like, where she's rising out of the ashes, owning into her own power, or his own power, being that bright light, being that bright example. After all the battles that you have come through, now you can rise to the occasion, rise to the call, and rise to your mission, your spiritual path, your assignment. You got everything now that you have learned on your way, and your healing and your process. You have completed the healing process, so now it's time to move on to deeper calling, deeper meanings, to discover the unknown that needs to be discovered. Following, your horizon. I look at this card because it's more about, following. Now you're stepping into your path. You're stepping into where you have grown, and you're learning to be more skillful, in your process, more understanding, more teaching and healing, and, seeking more wisdom, truly being excited and inspired on, what your mission, what you need to be called upon. You don't allow your ego, to get in the way. You stay more humble, meek and mild, as you go on your spiritual journey. Your soul is powerful enough to shift the state of your inner reality. You're truly what your heart unites. Knowing what you want, knowing, following your heart's desire, following how you truly feel in your heart, staying away, in toxic relationships that could suffocate what God is trying to do in your life, and to speak to others and show others how to have a sound devotion as a foundation, passionate. Know when to spread your wings. Know when to guard your heart when you need to guard your heart. and know when to open your heart to love, when you need to open, having that discernment in the spirit as you go along, because not everybody that needs to be in your energy will be good for you. So you have to be careful about who you allow in your energy, in your life. You know, you're reconnecting to your soul tribe, you know, finding your soul tribe and connecting to the similar spirituality. Not everybody, you know, is going to be on the same level as you, but you all on the same as far as going to your assignment, your spiritual journey, what your life purpose is here, with your gift and your talents, all will fit into the puzzle. And for humanity and for humanity kindness, to spread the compassion, the joy, the love, the wealth, in the spiritual mission that is given. Also too, with that, you know, karma is not always bad. You have your good and your bad. You know, you can have good, positive karma coming to you in your life. When you put out positive things into the world, then you're going to have positive karma coming to your life. If you put out bad and negative karma into the world, then that's what's going to come into your life. Bad and negative. So you can look at karma, you know, in two different ways. You can look at it as good, you can look at it as bad. It depends on how you are being the light in the world. Is it bad or is it good? And you be the judge of that. And so the next one is the alabaster tablet of Layla. And so with this one is the wisdom is within us. You know, tapping into your higher purpose of life. Embracing the feminine side, you know, of your compassion, your kindness, your mercy, your loyalty, you know, guardian. It's like she's like a guardian angel watching over all of our transitions and souls into embryo, doing the contraceptive, doing birth into the physical life. And with this, you're going through a significant transitional changes. So what it is that it's telling you to do like a spiritual cleansing with this. I'm gonna put it out here so that way you can see. So you see how she, you know, she has that bright light around her, you know, at the crown chakra, and as well that she is more tuned in to the feminine side of herself. You know, she's aware of the consciousness. She's aware of you know, what it do to nurtured, to bring the healing process, when to protect, when to be devoted, you know, where she's able to, and what I like about this, and I know I'm getting off, it's like, you know, you feel into the sacred inner world is what I was trying to say with this, you know, feeling the light within you, feeling a sense of love and recognition that you so long do and deserve. Don't allow people to tell you that you don't, because you know you don't deserve this or that, you know, or give you little when you know you deserve much more. Having respect for yourself, getting in touch with the feminine side of you, embracing your unique self, every aspect of what God has made you as a human being. Um, Loving yourself, loving the way you look, loving the way you feel, loving the way, you know, you have respect for yourself, not comparing yourself to others, to get the recognition or to gain popularity, you know, just being your own natural self, being the way that God has made you, and to the point that you'll be more deeper connected with yourself. You're grounded, you know, you are beautiful and you're true, and you are well grounded in the movement, in your mission, in your spiritual journey with that. And I like the reason why the alabaster, it reminded me of the Bible story about the alabaster box. And it was this woman, that she came and she didn't have any money to give to Jesus, anything. So what she did, she had this expensive oil that she had paid for. And so what she did is she used that expensive oil and she rubbed it on Jesus' feet. A savior that was born, to us in this world. And she ended up using that expensive oil, probably her whole life savings that she saved up for this oil. And she ended up wiping it on Jesus' feet, because she needed the healing, from God. She needed, she needed healing. She probably was going through a lot in her life at that time, and she just needed a touch from him. And and sometimes you need that. Sometimes you just need a touch from God, from everything that you have been through in life and went through in life, and sometimes you just need to go into that sacred place that you have, and you just get meditating and praying and get close to him, worshiping, praising him, and just call on to him, your spiritual guides, your angels, your ancestors. You call on them, to come to your rescue, to come to comfort you, to come to encourage you, to keep going on through your mission, through your assignment. Go, how to get through the difficulties and the struggles of time, and how to do, being guided, to a new way to manifest, being truly true to yourself and loving yourself, and you understanding the greater awareness, of your higher self, your higher life. Bringing that balance, that is necessary, the compassion, accepting kindness and mercy, towards other, get more direct into the feminine side, to bring more clarity and perspective to your life journey. And I like about her because it's an alabaster tablet of Layla. And she's like a guardian angel watching over all transition, including transition of the soul into the embryo, doing contraceptive, and guiding the soul and the body into the natural physical realm. And what was so interesting about that part is that she was like, as the baby is instilled in the mother's womb and growing, it's like where she comes in and start instilling like wisdom, into this child's DNA while the mother's being carried. And once, it's like a what you call like a DNA, but it's like a outline of everything that is going to happen in your life from the time that you was in your mother's womb being conceived until the time you birth, and everything that you got to go through. And once you come, then what she do is, once you been born, you know, like the indention above the lip of a baby. Well, what she does is she somehow or another, the indention come from is where the angel, the guardian angels, like struck the lip to make the child forget everything that was told to them when it was in their mother's womb until birth. Because the reason why is because they want them to go on their life journey, want them to experience, want the child to learn, just like us. You know, when we come out in this world, we have to, even though we probably learned everything that God gave us in our DNA to learn about while we was there, but once we come out in this world, then it's up to us to reconnect to our spiritual path, rediscovered, you know, our journey, you know, to get onto our journey. And that's basically what she's saying, you know, about that. It's like, you know, we already knew what we need to do. Now God has given us the free will to discover what we need to reconnect, what we need to seek, you know, doing our spiritual journey, you know, going within your heart, you know, going within your mind and your soul, you know, reconnecting. Notice how you feel about your path, you know, your calling, your gifts, you know, getting to learn your gifts, you know, in your calling, your mission, getting acquainted with it, you know, getting to the point that you embracing it, you know, learning the wisdom, learning the teaching, if there's teaching that needs to be taught, learning, you know, doing your spiritual cleansing, you know, also to protect, you know, doing your battle, your spiritual warfare, your spiritual battle. So you always do spiritual cleansing, you know, after you don't went through such, you know, spiritual warfare cycles, you know, where it has ended. Now you need to do spiritual cleansing, you know, to cleanse the chakras, cleanse the mind, the body, the soul. You know, and also, you know, protecting your energy, and your light, you know, shifting from, you know, from daily worlds to the sacred inner world, you know, which is a good thing, you know, when you come out of spiritual battle, you know, it's time to, you know, where now you need to take into the fact that, you know, everything that you was going through, it was already ordained. It was already placed in your life, you know, your calling of what you need to do. So it's just the point of you just reenact and going through the process, you know, going through your spiritual path, going through your spiritual awakening, your journey, your healing. Everything is a process. Everything was already been ordained before you, while you was in your mother's womb. The next one will be Garoda Supernina. So if I'm saying that right, but with this one also too, this is pretty, I kind of like this one too, because it reminds me of the eagle. You know, when you rise and high, you know, don't let no one take advantage of your kind nature. You know, it has powerful wings like an eagle. Um, it can conquer the pettiness. It can fly above the storm. So you can, and it, your problems that you face, you can use them to heal and to grow. It teaches unyielding and wisdom, seeking out your soul trial, like I had said, being on your spiritual frequency, your higher path. Real quality relationship is what I like about that one too. Discerning, what's good for you, what's not here, what's not going to be for you. Discerning. Moving on your healing path. And so here with this card, I love this card because look at this bird. It does look like an eagle, because of the beak and the structure and the feature. It says that when an eagle flies, when it comes like during a storm. Have you ever noticed a bird? I know that when doing my travels and stuff, I see a lot of birds and stuff like that be flying, and different types of birds. And sometimes they come really close, and then sometimes you can see them far away flying high up in the air. And I noticed that, anytime that there's like a storm that might be coming through, and you would see how the birds will be flying. Sometimes they be flying in a direction away from the storm. And they be gliding, the wings, they not be flapping. They use the wind. If there's wind, they use the wind to guide them through the storm. And that's the same thing that what God is saying to you, when chosen ones, spiritual being of angels, star seeds. What you do is you rise above your storm. You look at a situation, like an eagle, high up. Go to your higher consciousness. And if you need to solve a problem, go to your higher self, your higher consciousness. Be connected with the divine, your spiritual guides, your earth angels, and your ancestors, and see what they are saying. How to bring a resolution to the problem that you might be facing head on. And if you rise above it, then you won't get caught up in it, because you won't have the distractions, because you're so focused on, arising above, overcoming the situation, and you don't see, you lose the distraction, and the distraction doesn't bother you, because you're tuned in of like, okay, I know that the distraction is there, but I'm going to rise above this pettiness or this problem that is occurring, the negativities, the envy, the jealousy, the strife. You rise above that. You don't feed into it. And you look at a perspective like an eagle, because they, even when they do their prey, I noticed that an eagle would take like if the eagle's focusing on a prey, they will circle around and circle around, I guess, just to make sure that there is no other danger animal that could actually take them out. So they'll fly high, and then they'll be looking around their surroundings. And that's the same thing that you do. When you have a problem situation, you take yourself out of the equation and put yourself in like an eagle, and look at your surroundings. Look at your perception, look at your surroundings, and see, okay, how can I rise above this situation? What type of wisdom that I need, or discernment that I need, to get through this difficult time, or get through this situation, or this blockages, or this hindrance, or this struggle. And what they will do is once they find out that they're okay to zoom in and pick up the prey, then they'll just zoom in and they will pick that prey up, and then they will fly really, really high. I mean, so high in the air that it sometimes it would actually suffocate the prey. Because like if you have something like, for instance, like a snake, okay, so if the eagle decided to go pick up a snake, it's going to take it so high up in the air to where the snake will lose its senses, where it actually suffocate and actually the snake end up dying because the elevation is too high. You know, when a snake is on the ground, elevation is, is different on the ground than up in the air. And so that's what I'm talking about with that, is that, have discernment. Pick and choose your battles, because some battles are not worth the fighting, and some battles is not. Some battles is for the God, the divine one, your angels and your ancestors to fight for you. And while they're fighting for you, then you can take that time to rest, meditate, and getting prepared for your next mission, your next assignment that you need to focus on, or either focus on the rest of your healing, or focus on creating and manifesting, things, positive things into your life, and nip the negativity in the bud and the pettiness. Don't fall into the pettiness of this natural realm. Be more of a light, and be more powerful, protecting, and have hope. With this one, it's not all about, having the same belief system, as other people. Everybody can have a different belief system. Just make sure that you are grounding yourself, praying, keeping yourself prayed up, or meditate, protecting your energy, setting your boundaries, in different situations needs to be set. Having the place of wisdom and clarity. I'm looking at all my notes that I wrote down. So place of, of clarity, true to your heart, not always look like a perfect person from the outside. You don't have to put on a facade, or think that you're better than someone else just because you can speak elegant words, or you can have more deeper revelation. It's not about that. It's about having, calmness, being meek, just seeing things in a different perspective when it comes to humanity, this world and the spiritual realm. Being more open to positive things, recognizing when there's negativity coming your way and how to stop it in its tracks. But in a good, positive, and wisdom way. If you don't know how to say something to someone to the point that they doesn't get offended by it, or then that's when you pray for, ask God for, for clarity, understanding, and how can you communicate in a positive way where it's not offending anybody. by your words or what you say. It's not triggering someone that is still in their healing process or in their spiritual journey. You're not triggering them to the point to where they have setbacks, or they start feeling withdrawn from you, and not being very accepted to your words. So just be mindful of that. Sovereign Queen Mabi, she is the light within the queen and the king. So she brings out the king inside of you and bring out the queen inside of you. Triumph over massive situation. You have the inner strength, the courage, the boldness to accomplish whatever you wish or attain. You have a higher spiritual realm. With that, she's more of, if you look at her, she is so very serious. You see that crown with those jewels and stuff over her head. She means business. With that, I look at it that she's one of those people that she means business. And that's how sometimes you have to be. You have to be, sometimes you have to be firm on your spiritual walk and your journey. You all about your Father's business, God's business. What He has called to place on earth for you to do, your mission, your assignment. And you're not allowing anything to tear you or steer you away from what is being called for you to do. And all at the same time, you having compassionate also, for everyone and even yourself. But you also need to set firm boundaries also. When you do go to obtain, your heart's desire, your wish desire, because now your heart is open and your mind is to the light, on your Father's business, on God's business, what He wants you to do. You're in between the higher, the heavens, and the earth. She's more like a warrior, in which you are like a goddess warrior, a protector of territory. So, you have that competence, you have that encouragement. You know when to refuse and to allow into your sacred space your energy. You know when to use inner wisdom in different situations. You know how to use your talents and your gift. You're not going to allow anybody to put you down or deny your rightful place, because you already know who you are. You've already been discovered. You already know who you are, what you need to do. So you're not going to allow anybody to remove you out of your place, your rightful place, your divine rightful place. And you're gonna nip it in the bud pretty much. You're going to protect your territory. You're going to protect your spiritual path, your spiritual journey at all times. You're not going to allow, to be your sacred energy to be contaminated by greed, jealousy, hate, and confusion, and strife, backbiting and stuff. You're not going to allow that to be contaminated. You're going to recognize it, and then you're going to remove it. And that's pretty much what it is that you're guarding now. It's not so much of letting everyone in. oh, I just love everybody. I'm so kind. I'm so, I just want to show the love. And then you letting all these energy in, and then half of these energy is not good for you. So then you have to be decipher and discerning what is good and what is not. So before they even come approach you, you already analyzing, you already discerning, and be like, okay, you being mindful, you being watchful, and be like, okay, is this person coming to bring good, or is it coming to bring bad? You're not being selfish, with it. You being more of, you know how to be dominant and controlled in different situations. And you also know how to be loving and kind in a situation. You know how to judge, and you know when not to judge. That's all part of your gift. It's just the point of that you're not going to allow anybody to contaminate your sacred space, your energy. Because of your higher frequency is rising, your higher calling, your higher destiny, your spiritual path, your spiritual healing, your awakeness. You done been through all that, so now you know how to protect it, and reside and go within if you need to go within, and have that boldness, that grace, that dignity, that respect that you deserve. You're demanding that, you're authentic, or ethnic, or ethnic, with wisdom. You have that respect for yourself, that inner dignity of your true nature is now processing. Recognizing the light within you, the power within you. Commit to what you believe in the divine is working with you and in you. You shall be victorious. Seeking out that freedom. You have that freedom now to seek out. You have it to where you can manifest and you can live your life, and not be burdened down. Committing to your spiritual practice, self-possession, knowing what's matter to you now and what doesn't matter to you. Knowing your mores and your vows, your values. Okay. Ari wish fulfilling crow. It's another one. And this one is that all your prayers has been answered. You are more connected to the spiritual, a higher level of consciousness, harmony, aligned with the divine one, your ancestors, your spirit and your angels on the spiritual realm and on the natural realm. You're reconnecting with your heart, your mind, and your soul with this one. So with this one, I like it with that bird remind me of a vulture. That's what it looks like to me, because that's how those vultures look when they're sitting up in a tree. They're so serious. They're just about their business. They stay to themselves. When it's time to eat, they go eat. When it's time to rest and sleep, they go sleep. They don't really bother. They stay within their same similar flock. They don't mix and mingle with other birds. They stay within their own kind. And most of the time they do things together also. So now this is time is that you're releasing the fears, the grip and control and doubt. into the universe. Your prayers has been heard. So now, what you seeking, it has been granted permission. Everything around you, fulfillment of your potentials, it's unlimited now. You're thriving, highly evolved, in the spiritual and in the natural realm. Harmony, abundance and harmonies, and, generosity is coming, being aligned, with that powerful, with the spirit, with God, strengthen, being graceful, empowerment, with this, be able to receive, be able to give, be able to trust, what is destined for you on your spiritual path, your spiritual journey. You can't no longer be manipulated by other people, and that goes back to, owning, and protecting what God has said for you, and what is meant for you is what meant for you. And that goes back to the discerning, of the spirit. And I like about it, they talk about the tusk, the tusk on the bird, that right there, it helped the bird brush, and looking for food and vegetables and stuff like that. And that can be the same thing with obstacles in your life. You're searching, you're searching for answers and solution. So you're moving around the obstacles, and you're looking and you're like, okay, I see this here. Okay, and I see this here. Okay, so now let me move and see what the surface. So you're moving to see the true meaning, the true surface, the true what's behind it. Why did it come into your life? What lesson you need to learn from it, and you need to move on. And it goes the same way too is when you on your spiritual your path, sometimes when you're in the unknown, you will go off course and be looking like, okay, let me see what's over here. What is that all about? And should I try this? Should I go down this way just to see, what's under the unknown, what's under beneath the surface. And that's sometimes when we go through our healing, we have to go, when we go into a deep healing and awareness and a spiritual awakening, sometimes the layers, and God has to go under the layers of all life experience from birth on up until your age. And you have to go underneath the surface. And sometimes he has to dig underneath the surface to see exactly what is hidden under there. So that way it can promote healing. It could promote repentance, healing and recovering, rebirth. And sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need that deep healing, where you can dig beneath the surface of things when you're praying, when you're meditating. You can see what's inside of you, and that way you can work on it. Work on what's inside of you. Instead of you working on what's inside of others, you begin to work on what's inside of you. And then you allow that person to get on their spiritual journey, their spiritual healing awakenings and soul searching, and allow them to search inside their self and see what's hid underneath and below. The ability to move even in hospitable, if I'm saying it right, environment successfully. And so sometimes, like I was saying, you can move and glide easily, on your spiritual journey when you are following God's divine words, and you taking instruction from God, and your ancestors and your angels and spirit guides are all along to help you on the route and on your way. You are aligned you know, with your sacred inner work to attract and to manifest your higher purpose, where you become radiant, you know, glowing brightly, you know, the anointed, you know, you can feel the anointing on people when they're talking to you, when you're in their presence. You know, the light and the dark can dwell. So sometimes when someone is in darkness, come around a light, that sometimes your bright light and your anointing sometimes dim or make them intimidated. But it's okay, because sometimes it needs to be intimidated, because then they need to go soul searching and get onto their spiritual path and their journey, because there's something that God wants to bring to their attention that needs to be resolved, needs to be healed. You know, overcoming fears, you know, having, you know, just having that balance, you know, trust that you will reach your destination even when there are focus beyond your control. And I like that. That's a good one. You don't have to be powerful in your mission, you know, to overcome your opposition, you know, your struggles. You don't have to be more powerful. You just continue to be yourself. Continue to be what God has made you. And you glide over like the airplane's flying. You glide over it. You gliding over it. You're allowing the Spirit to move you smoothly over it, to overcome it, to conquer it. And then you'll be able to proceed on your path with abundance, wisdom, joy, peace, love, and happiness, where it begins to show on the outward and also in the inward. And as you're speaking, you know, you'll feel more healing, grace, and beauty, you know, more relaxation. You don't have to worry about not having protection, because you have a lot more protection. You'll know how to protect yourself on the earthly realm and in the spiritual realm. You'll have more understanding on what is happening all around you on your spiritual path, your spiritual mission, your assignment, earth angel, spiritual being, star seeds, and so on, pastors and preachers and stuff like that. You will begin to see the beauty where you begin to nourish, you know, others, you know, encourage them, you know, to do better, to improve their life, you know, speaking more and positive words into their lives. More knowledge, more wisdom, you know, begin to flow. More clarity and understanding, you know, where the soul is receiving the light from the eternal realm. You know, coming oneness with God, your divine one, you know, on the same spiritual path as your soul tribe family. You know, you all can share bits and nuggets with each other, you know, to encourage and to edify, to uplift. You know, there could be somebody in your soul tribe that could say an encouraging word to you that day that will uplift your soul, and then you can do the same thing, vice versa, back to them. So it's all connecting together into one big puzzle, you know, allowing everything to flow, you know, freely within, you know, complete and whole, you know, connecting with your senses, you know, discerning. So I'm going to stop it right there because it's always going over. So, and I want to put this one that came, it says, I am worthy of having more wealth. It said, the more I give out, the more I receive. You know, just some positive things that, and then I have this one is, I have the power to create change. And I like this one by Tyra Banks. It said, never dull your shine for somebody else. And that's what I'm saying, always keep your light. You know, keep your light shining all the time. Don't allow your light to go out because somebody else is not where they need to be, or they're unhappy. And you know, and they're refusing to change or get onto the spiritual path or journey or healing that they need. So don't allow anybody else to dull your light or shine. Don't allow the gossip, the backbiting, the negativity sent your way to dull your shine. You keep going. Don't quit. Keep moving on. You're always going to have haters regardless if you're doing good or bad. And love what you do and do what you love. And I like that. And that's and I'm going to stop it right there. So until next time, peace, love, joy, and happiness on your spiritual awareness, your spiritual journey, and your spiritual assignment.